No, she's a multi-talented TV star who made her name with her acting ability, her presenting and her on-screen cooking.
Yeah, indeed. Now Lisa Faulkner is returning to the stage for the first time in more than 20 years. She
is starring in a new production of Single White Female, a reimagining of that iconic 90s psychological thriller.
Yeah, Lisa plays Ali, and she joins us now to tell us all about it. I don't know whether to start with Single White Female itself or the fact that you're back on the stage for the first time in 20... What's more frightening? Thinking Single White Female was 1992, was it?
Well, that's quite frightening.
Yeah.
Me being back on stage is a little bit scary. Yeah, 1992, and it was a really iconic movie. I mean, I remember going to the cinema and just thinking it was great.
Yeah.
And it's now been... Rebecca Reed has written the play and taken all the good bits, but sort of brought it up to date in a bit. It's much more contemporary, and I think a lot of the people that watch Single White Female were young and my age, and they're now sort of mothers of teenage daughters. So we sort of brought it into that realm.
And it's worth remembering, isn't it? At the time, it was an absolute phenomenon, that film. It broke the mold. I mean, there's one particularly shocking sort of scene in it, but it was that film. There was so much buzz around it. Everyone was talking about it.
There was, and I was saying to your researcher, I think it must have been that there weren't so many films out at the same time. You know, we're so bombarded with films and TV shows that I think at the time, you know, maybe 2 or 3 came out, so everyone was watching it, and it was brilliant. And that iconic moment, the old stiletto, does make an appearance in our show.
So.
God, I've forgotten about that. I've forgotten about that. So, for people who haven't seen it or can't quite remember, it's basically a flat share which goes horrendously wrong between 2 women, isn't it?
Yes.
Which character are you playing that people remember from the movie?
So I play Ali, who puts in an ad for a housemate, and instead of it being that we're 2 young women in the city, I've just got divorced, I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I need someone to help with the rent because my ex-husband is about to have another baby, without giving much away. But Kim Marsh plays Hedy, who is my slightly strange, I could say, housemate, and she's fantastic. And we started rehearsals 3 days ago.
Wow.
So,
and it taps into so many fears, don't you, have about bringing a stranger into your house, and it'll be something that a lot of people actually now, because they're, you know, having to rent out rooms or whatever, people will be able to sort of empathise with it.
Well, yeah, and it's also that thing of social media. We let people into our homes so easily and into our lives. People can see exactly what we're doing, our kids, where we are, and so there is a sort of message in that. But I think what it is a great night out. You know, when you go to the theatre and you sort of think, am I going to have to know or understand every bit? Or do you know what I mean? This is like going to watch a movie, but on stage. And I think it will be really fun to watch.
And I bet on stage you can really convey the intimacy of that flat, of the 2 people living together in a really concentrated, intense situation.
I think we'll really have that. It's funny actually doing it in a rehearsal room, and we've got all of it taped out. We've got these chairs, and you're thinking that's going to then be on stage, just this proper flat, and it's really exciting.
Exciting, a little bit nerve-wracking. It's massively different, isn't it? We will know you from telly, but not stage. You haven't. When was the last time you did a stage production?
I think it was about 23 years ago.
OK.
So it's about around the time that Single White Female came out.
Yeah. No. Well, let's say that, because then that will make you sound much younger. I was only 12 when I was last on stage, I wish. But I mean, it is a big difference. You know, when you're doing TV and you're acting, they usually sort of, you get to do a little bit of research on your character and you learn your lines, and then they put you where they want you and they tell you a certain few things that they'd like you to do, and then you just do it. And you can always have another take, whereas this is from beginning to end, live, with a lot of lines. So, do you know what? I love the fact that I'm 53 and I'm going to do something that I haven't done for so long, and it's such a big challenge, but really exciting, and I love acting, and it just makes my heart beat, so it's great.
So is that why you wanted to push yourself out of your comfort zone, do something?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I read the script, I'd been thinking maybe I'd like to do some theatre. I'd sort of put it out there to the universe, And then this script came and I read it and I thought, this is brilliant. I'd really like to do it. I would love to go and see it at the theatre. And I think that, to me, is an indication. If you want to see it or you want to watch it, then I'm in.
And you were talking about the fact that it's been updated slightly, changed slightly since the original film, in that you've got a daughter.
Yeah.
So there must be a different dynamic there.
Yes. Well, that plays into it because Hedy is sort of trying to persuade my daughter other ways. And there's also that relationship between a mother and daughter. And 15, anyone who's a mother with a 15-year-old daughter, you know, it's quite a tricky age. And there's a whole relationship at play of what you're sort of a menopausal woman, perimenopausal woman. They're going through their sort of puberty. So you do lock horns, and I think there's a lot of that.
And you were talking about social media earlier and sort of in terms of how things have changed. You've got a teenage daughter. We've been talking a lot today about social media and you know, engaging with your children. Obviously, the Australia social media ban. It's really interesting, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it's very interesting. I want to see how they do it and how it works. There's a part of me that wishes that it sort of happened here years ago. But at the same time, I think, you know, as long as you're having those conversations with your kids and you are really open and honest, that's all you can do, is try and keep that dialogue going with your kids, because you know them better than anyone. We hope so.
I bet doing this play, you start thinking about your own social media presence, your own, you know, your own security in a funny kind of way. Because is she a bit paranoid?
Yeah, not really. Do you know what? My daughter was the person to say to me, "Mum, you've got to do this. I'll come and see you. I'll come to all the places. You've got to do this." And I thought that's really funny because, you know, the whole social media thing, I thought she might be a bit like, oh, yeah, she never wants to watch anything that I do. But she's right up for coming to see this.
I bet you're not going to take on a lodger, though, are you?
No, I don't think so.
It's lovely to see you, Lisa. Thank you so much. And the play, Single White Female, it goes on tour next month, opening at the Theatre Royal Brighton.
Good luck with that. Good to see you.